Hello. Um, I think I'm live right now, or I should be anyway. Just double checking that I'm showing up. Aha, okay. Yeah, we're live. Hello, everyone. Um, so I'm going to get things ready here while um, people roll in. I'm just going to give people a chance to kind of okay. Yeah, we're live. Give people a chance to roll in, but we might have a guest later. Um, but you know, we'll figure it out as we go. Um, First off, let's throw up an image. We're just going to look at this image for a little bit until people start coming in, because I would love to talk about Star Trek with people. And if nobody shows up, that's good. I might have one. Tonight I'm not wearing my uniform or anything because, as you can see, it's nighttime, which obviously we're in space, so it's always nighttime in space. But no, the purpose of this live is I just want to talk about some things that have happened recently with Star Trek. Not necessarily like anything good or bad, just some things. I used to do live streams for anybody who is fairly new to the channel. I used to do those first before I had actual videos. Didn't get a whole lot of views, which is fine. But I miss doing live streams because that gave me a chance to actually like talk off the cuff, and not have to edit anything, which is it's a pain sometimes to have to edit. But excuse me, I actually really enjoy making videos here on YouTube. Ever since starting about it's been a little over a year now. I've been doing YouTube. First, I started off with shorts, and then I started doing what are they called? I started doing like shorts and stuff, obviously, and I figured I could transition from doing shorts into actual edited videos, and but before I started doing edited videos, I would do live streams, obviously, like I just said. So that's a thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and open see if I can get my YouTube up so I have a view. I can't see anybody chatting right now if anybody's talking, so give me just a second because I'm trying to figure out something. Sure. Give me a second. You can't see what I'm doing, but I can see what I'm doing, and that's all that matters right now. So I need to go into, is it YouTube Studio? I can't see like if anybody's talking in the chat, so I don't have a chat up just yet. Actually, can I put in a chat? Chat. Do I have YouTube chat? Chickadee chat. Okay. Oh, is this it? This is chat. Okay. Sorry. I'm using OBS now, just in case anybody cares or is wondering. So I don't need that anymore. Let's see. Yeah, I finally have my chat open, so I will put something in there. Hello there. Welcome to the Wednesday warp stream. Da 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 da. So, um, so if anybody's here and they're watching me, I'll kind of go over what I just said. I'm going to talk about some things that have been happening with Star Trek recently, um, and like I was saying earlier, I used to do live streams before I started doing edited videos, and something I had just said is that it was nighttime. It's always nighttime in space, but if you hear any loud booms, they're doing work on the ship. That's the lore right now, I guess. It's definitely not because there's storms and stuff, but whatever. So, um, anyway, I want to talk about some things that have happened in Star Trek recently, and maybe some upcoming things that I have planned. Nothing major, nothing, you know, nothing life shattering or crazy, but I do want to talk about the fact that I have gotten over 300 subs somehow. Like, I know that on the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot, but I appreciate the fact that I have anybody who has subscribed. So I appreciate the fact that people have been watching and commenting. A lot of comments recently, like so many comments that I try to at least I read every single one, and I try to respond to as many as I can get to. But sometimes I can't obviously respond to everybody. Not that again, not that I have tons, and it's not always nice. Um, it's not always nice comments, but that's fine. Criticism is still engagement, and engagement means that YouTube um, recognizes recognizes that you're gaining traction. And I'm not really doing this to gain traction necessarily. I enjoy doing this, but it is definitely just a hobby right now. So I want to make sure that if I am going to be producing stuff for people to watch, and people have clearly said that they like watching what I'm making, I at least want to make sure that it's quality. So right now, this is not quality. This is just me talking off the top of my head like I used to back when I first started. But if people like watching live streams more often, I might do more live streams. I'm going to try to shoot for Wednesday, because not only can I make it say Wednesday warp stream to keep in on theme, but I also am free usually on Wednesdays. So if that's okay with everybody else, that is what I would like to do. So I'm still kind of waiting around just a little bit here, just to see if people come in. I know, again, it's Wednesday. People have lives outside of here. It's late. It's 9:00 where I'm at. So, I mean, I hate to be a late streamer, but I mean, I know there's probably somebody up. And again, this will be up for later viewing if people want to watch a live stream from me later. The only bad thing about using OBS right now is that I I didn't know how to set up a an intro video. So my previous live streams have had my intro video that I worked very hard on. So I kind of regret the fact that I didn't get to put that in there, but I'll figure it out. So it's fine. But I've got two people here. It says they're concurrent, so hopefully that means they're actually watching. But I have this image up here because I thought it was hilarious. There's a caption at the bottom that says, "Nobody expects the rules of acquisition," which, har har, it's funny. But so yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and start talking about what I wanted to talk about. Again, I wanted to speak on a couple things that have happened in the Star Trek sphere. There's not a lot happening, obviously, because Star Trek is kind of a dead thing right now. If you watch my channel or anybody else's that are critical of Starfleet Academy, you'll know that it's really not doing well. There's a lot of people saying that it is when it's really not, and I think people are finally coming around to not voting with their wallet, but they're voting with their eyes and what they're watching. Like they like to say that a lot of people are watching the show, but they're really not. The penultimate episode aired last Thursday, and it didn't even chart on its own streaming platform, which should tell you a lot about about how people are engaging with your show. You know, if a lot of people were watching, it would chart, but it's not. And I don't have any graphs up or anything, but there's other people who have talked about this ad infinitum. So it's not an issue with it's not an issue with the fact that it's a poorly written show. It's that people just aren't watching, on top of the fact that it's a poorly written show. I mean, literally, I think maybe I think people who actually enjoy the show, that's great. If you like Starfleet Academy, watch it as much as you want. But you are among the tens of 15s of people who are like genuinely interested in the characters and, well, I should say characters, because everybody is kind of written the exact same. And maybe this is like, maybe I could make this like a pre-finale wrap up for this warp stream. It's I'm not trying to put a cap on it just yet, but there's nobody watching the show who is watching it because they're really invested in it. They're one of those people who I talked about in my last video, where I said that the people who are watching this show they fall into a few different categories, but the one that I focus on the most is the category of people who watch the show because they're so they've got what did I call it? Somebody help me out in the chat. Tell me what I said, because I don't remember what I said. They've got that effect where they're like an abused partner, and they're just sticking with the partner because they're thinking, oh well, maybe they'll change. And I can't remember what that's called. I keep thinking Nightingale syndrome, but that's not it. That's when you fall in love with your caretaker. But the point is, like, the people who watch the show who are in that category are mostly older people. They're not younger people. They're not getting younger people who are interested in Star Trek because they're like, oh, that's cool. Because the Star Trek of today looks like all the other, like, gray slop stuff that has been seen for the past 10 or 15 years, where it's not even like young adult book category. It's more like it's like fan fiction. And a lot of fan fiction, there's a lot of fan fiction that can be good, but most fan fiction is crap, and nobody likes fan fiction. Nobody likes fan fiction that is focused on those very few things that they like to focus on. Because a lot of times they focus on relationships over the sci-fi of it all. A lot of people like Star Trek because it's sci-fi. It kind of, I don't want to say it created the genre of modern sci-fi, because I think that kind of goes to, I think that partly goes to Star Trek and Star Wars. There were sci-fi before that, obviously, but it didn't really gain popularity the way it is today until Star Trek and Star Wars kind of took over, which is great. We've gotten 60 plus years of really good sci-fi. It's just, well, I should say maybe 40 really good years of sci-fi, because, is my math off? I think my math is off. Because, yes, we've had really good sci-fi for 60 years, but from Star Trek specifically, it only lasted for about 50 of that. Maybe less. Probably less, actually. Because when J.J. Abrams took over and Alex Kurtzman got his claws in it, it tanked, and we haven't gotten anything really good. I mean, really, really good since the end of Enterprise. And the end of Enterprise was probably the best place to stop it. since, I think, 2005 when that came out, when that ended. It was just very, I don't know, it was dying at that time, and I think it's because the writers were tired. But they had been doing it for a long, long time. So props to them. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about one of the things I really wanted to talk about, which was the statements that Alex Kurtzman made at this awards ceremony. What he said was so asinine, and it's that same regurgitated baloney that they always try to spew about how sci-fi is a lens for today. And it's like, I don't agree with that, because sci-fi should always be looking forward. And yes, you can comment on what's happening today, but you don't have to focus specifically on things because from today, because you will eventually date yourself, and when people look back, they'll go, man, you can tell who the president was based on what they said then. Anyway, I'll let him speak for himself. This is what Alex Kurtzman had to say at this, whatever this was. I can't remember.
Gene Roddenberry had this lightning bolt of an idea, and I think he understood something
I don't know if it can be heard.
About the nature of science fiction and genre storytelling, which is that science fiction is not really about the future, it's about now. It is.
So I don't know if it can be heard. I'm not exactly sure if whoever's watching, drop a chat and let me know if you can hear this. Basically, I'll start it over just in case it's not been heard. And again, tell me in the chat if you can hear this. If you can't hear it, let me know that as well. But I'll play it again.
Gene Roddenberry had this lightning bolt of an idea, and I think he understood something fundamental about the nature of science fiction and genre storytelling, which is that science fiction is not really about the future, it's about now. It is the prism through which the looking glass, the magnifying glass through which we examine ourselves, the state of humanity, who we are, what we're capable of, and where we're going.
Now, I agree with that last part, what we're capable of and where we're going. But to focus on only what is going on right now is really stupid. I'll let him finish, though.
And it was such a powerful idea that it has lasted for 60 years because each iteration of Star Trek has been interpreted and reinterpreted by people who are so inspired by the message.
I want to know what message he's talking about here, too, because he said it's been interpreted and reinterpreted by people who have been so inspired by the message. I assume he's talking about what Gene Roddenberry said about, or what he thinks Gene Roddenberry said or thought about it being a prism to watch, to like examine modern stuff. But again, the problem with that is that he has been in control of it for the past 10, 12 years, almost 10 years, something like that. Not 12, almost 10 years. And he's the only one who's been reinterpreting it to be that way. Him and his writers are the ones that have kind of changed the direction that Star Trek was taking, from being where it was hopeful, talking about the future, and yes, using bits from our current day to kind of talk about issues, but they did it in such a way that was masterfully done, where you could talk about things that were happening in real life, but they put it in the fantasy scenario of Star Trek, of the future. And they tried to make it as hopeful as they possibly could, but you watch Starfleet Academy, and it's not hopeful. It's people dealing with... they're only dealing with momentary acts of trauma And when that trauma disappears from that episode, they never go back to it. And if they do go back to it, it's after they've done this like fake, like, oh, I can't deal with my trauma, but I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to go drinking with my buddies, and we're going to get in a bar fight, and then we're going to throw up glitter everywhere. But then after that, the very next episode, they go to, oh, now I got to deal with my trauma from that guy dying, or being, I don't know, being taken on a ship where the Venari Rawl, or I'm going to start calling them the venereals, because that word just screams venereal disease to me for some reason. In a show called SA that came after a show called STD. So, I don't know if anybody's picked up on that Venari Rawl kind of, it sounds like venereal to me. But honestly though, like, what is he talking about?
Of Star Trek.
And then he says this part, which is even worse, because what he says, if this actually happens, I think anybody who is working on it would look around and go, what are we doing?
Set every day for the last several years, I've had this ritual, which is I take 1 minute to look around at what's going on and the incredible army of people and artists.
So I think it's funny if you look at Brent Spiner's face when he's talking, he's just like, what are you talking about?
Doing this job, and you will not be one person on any of our sets who doesn't love Star Trek in their core.
Yes, and the shills clap. They all say, yes, we agree with you, absolutely. And I know actors probably like Star Trek, but they didn't write the show. The people writing the show are the ones who, where's the picture? I want it. This picture is great. It is such an encapsulation of what I'm talking about here. The actors in the show, I don't think they can be held responsible in a lot of ways. I don't think they should be held responsible for the indigestion. I don't think they should be held responsible because they are only using what they've been given. And in my opinion, what they've been given has been trash. The actors are only portraying what they've been given. And again, what they've been given from the writers has been trash. And when he says that he walks on set and he looks around at all the people who say they love Star Trek, it's like, yeah, I would say I loved Star Trek too if I was getting a paycheck from it. But if I didn't actually believe in that, I think I'd still say, yeah, I love it. That's like my job right now. I go to work and I walk in and I'm Mr. Happy, but like inside I'm dying because I feel like my soul's being sucked out. But I'm not going to tell my boss that. I'm not going to tell the people that I work for that, I think, my life is soul crushing by being there. So if he has a team of people who are like, I love Star Trek, they're definitely blowing some smoke up this guy's butt. That being said, there are some things we can take away from what he said about how I think the next people who come in to be the stewards of Star Trek should be. Instead of looking around and trying to find people or not trying to find, but like finding people around you who are in praise of Star Trek, they should be critical of what they're making. Yes, they can love it, but if they don't agree with what's being put on screen, they should probably say something and say, we don't really want to say that. Uh, like, I think you should be critical of your work. Everybody should. That's why when you're writing a story or a book or whatever, you get it edited. You get like second opinions from people. You let other people read it so that they can tell you, hey, this scene doesn't really make sense, or I think you're in your own head about this particular setting. Because a lot of times writers have they have the tendency to focus on what they're talking about, and it makes sense in their head, but it doesn't. It might not read as well on paper. So love it all you want, but be critical of it. And if somebody writes something that, not that you don't agree with, but if you think can be said a better way or more tactfully, then I think you have an obligation to say something to the person who's written what you don't like. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something you don't like. It just has to be something that isn't good and you don't want. But this reaction from Brent Spiner, I always want to say Spinner, Brent Spinner. Sorry, tangent. But this reaction from him has been likened to when stupid doughboy here said that the story of Star Trek or of Star Wars isn't as important as the fans, which people clapped like seals to. Which that's great. That's great. You want to make sure that the fans come first. The problem with that is that he didn't put the fans first. He wrote his story, and he ruined it. And Mark Hamill, even though he's a massive retard himself, he didn't hide his face. He didn't act, because we know he's capable of it somewhere. But he didn't act and hide his feelings. He looked like a dog that had been kicked over and over again. And he even voiced his own opinions about how, when they were filming, he thought, I fundamentally disagree with what you're doing with my character. The character that he had kind of, he had crafted as much as he possibly could to make it be a hopeful and very heroic character. And Rian Johnson just kind of destroyed him. And, again, as stupid as Mark Hamill is when it comes to other things, I think he was right about the character that he was portraying. Luke was supposed to be hopeful and optimistic, and he redeemed Darth Vader, the most evil man, or the second most evil man in the galaxy, and he destroyed him. So when we look at something like Brent Spiner just staring daggers at Alex Kurtzman, doing us all a favor by just hating that guy. I'm not saying Brent Spiner hates Alex Kurtzman, but he's doing us a favor by giving us at least this look of confusion. I liked it anyway. But him saying that, how we need to view Star Trek, or Star Trek in his eyes was the is a way to look at ourselves through a prism and see ourselves in it. It's that same stupid idea of people who they have to see themselves in their media. They can't suspend their disbelief for one iota of a minute or whatever and actually enjoy a story about someone other than themselves. It's so selfish. Not this generation, but I guess this generation overall has been called not Me Too. Wow. It's been called the Me Too generation, which it has, I guess. It's been called the me first generation. People who they only think about themselves. And I think that's been kind of proven true in that people only want to see themselves in stuff. Well, not everybody, obviously, but people want to see themselves represented in whatever. And they boil themselves down to one core thing that is so superficial and unimportant in the grand scheme of things. whether it's their sexuality or their race or their, I don't know, I don't even know. What else is there that you could boil yourself down to? I try not to do that myself. I try to be not nuanced but balanced. I think a lot of people are balanced in their views, but the people who claim to like Star Trek, it's like they only want to see themselves represented, and it's not because they're watching it. It's because they are uh, they think that everything needs to be like that, so they praise it, but they don't actually watch it, or they're getting a paycheck from it. So anyway, to wrap up this little section in a nice little orb that we can all observe, Alex Kurtzman is retarded, and I hope the rumors about him being gone, I hope are true, and if they are true, then hopefully somebody will come in and take over Star Trek and just like completely flush everything he's made down the toilet, so that we can all kind of have some, like the fans of Star Trek need some trauma dumping where we can get rid of all this stupid lens flares and focusing on personal issues and get back to science fiction, the stuff that people actually liked from Star Trek. Man, what am I kicking? I'm sorry. This is not professional. I'm just a guy. But anyway, Alex Kurtzman's dumb, and he should be treated as such. So if you're just joining me again, nobody expects the rules of acquisition. We love Quark around here. But I also want to show this picture. I love The Next Generation. And Whoopi Goldberg, not a fan of her necessarily, but I like her as Guinan. In modern times, Whoopi Goldberg is also just a huge idiot. But if we just like ignore that and just look at the character of Guinan from The Next Generation, she's really good as Guinan. I appreciate her character as Guinan. And then also you have Deanna Troi. She's wonderful. Love her. She's adorable, especially in those early seasons, season 1 and 2. She's just adorable. She's just cute. And Gates McFadden, she was my all-time crush when I was a kid. So, but Women's Month or something. Yeah, I think these three women are good. Oh, Buttercup. Yes, thank you. I've also been watching The Next Generation, and yeah, it definitely helps kind of rinse my mouth out from Starfleet Academy and all the other crap that's come before. Yeah, that's that's one way to get through it and actually have still like keep your filth, keep your enjoyment in Star Trek, because TNG is definitely like top notch. Thank you for the comment. That was great. I appreciate that. Another thing that's happened recently, which is kind of cool. The only real good thing to come from Starfleet Academy, other than it hopefully ending the career of Alex Kurtzman, is that so on Waze, if you use Waze as a navigation device, which I don't, but I definitely will start, you can now have the doctor narrate your journey, or give you voice directions. And I kind of messed around with this earlier, and he's kind of condescending, which is funny, but like it's not. It's funny, but like I kind of wish they would have just made him the doctor and not an a-hole. But here you can see that you can change your car icon to be wow, my brain just turned off. You can change your car icon to be the Athena, which I really don't like the Athena ship. for a lot of reasons, mainly because the ships of old were so iconic, and you could display them if you had one. If you had like a shelf or something, but you can't. I don't think you can do that here because the ship is like separate from itself. You know, the main middle part can come out and fly away, and the wings and the ring part in the front are all separated from each other, and you'd have to have little transparent bars like holding each other together, which is it's like, well, don't do that. Now I can't display my ship. So, give me 1 second here. Um, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, the car icon you can change it, but the voice you can have the doctor narrate your journey on ways, which is kind of cool. It's nothing special, but it's cool to have the character tell you where to go and stuff, even though he is kind of a condescending butthole. Now, having said that, thank you, Buttercup. Yes, it's cool as like a concept art type of thing, but it's not a good ship design. I think it's like they only did one take. They're like, okay, well here's the design of the Athena, and they're like, oh yeah, that looks spacey enough. That looks futuristic enough. So on the subject of Robert Picardo, though, this Disbrew, which if you don't follow Disbrew, go follow Disbrew. He puts things way better than I ever could. But he excuse me. He's been doing a lot of fan attacking for the show that he's in, which I understand being defensive of what you make and what you're a part of, but like don't attack the people who are critical of what you make. You know, at the very least he could say, "Well, I appreciate your feedback, but I guess when you have been doing it for this long, you just kind of turn on your people." And I don't know why you would do that. But so this person on X here, I don't know who it is, but they said apparently it hurts actors' fees when you call them a dancing monkey and tell them that their job is to entertain us, not lecture us. Washed up actors are the worst. Which, yeah, like actors and actresses and people who are on stage and stuff, they chose that life because they want to be in the public eye. They didn't do it because they, are thin-skinned, or they shouldn't have done it if they're thin-skinned. But apparently some actors do get their fees hurt. So Robert Picardo says, "My thanks to all my ex-followers who agree that actors have the same free speech rights as all Americans. It is time to flush this washed-up turd in the punch bowl, and I hope you will join me." I think Robert Picardo is Canadian. I think so, anyway. And if he's not, yeah, obviously actors have free speech. Nobody said that you don't have free speech. But don't attack the people. Like, free speech, yes, any kind of free speech, absolutely. Say whatever you want, but you're not free from the consequences that might happen from saying something that people don't like. I mean, you can criticize the government all you want, but as soon as you start saying that you're going to do something about it and they come after you for it, well, you should probably be prepared for some kind of retaliation. So, it's not that serious, obviously, but Disbrew puts it really well. He says, the most bizarre thing about Starfleet Academy is the actor people liked the most is the one who's losing his crap at his own fans. And yeah, it's like, are you, like, like, I don't understand that. Like, everybody was happy that the Doctor was coming back. Well, maybe they're not happy, but it was cool to see that they're bringing back the Doctor of all people. It made sense for the character to still be around, but for him to turn around and like poop on people who, not poop, but you know what I mean, take a crap on people who are interacting with him. Again, you'd think that you'd take constructive criticism a little bit well. Now, is this constructive criticism? Probably not. And yeah, I'm sure getting hate from the people who watch you is it's hard to take sometimes. But again, you got into the industry because you wanted to put yourself out there, and you know people aren't going to like everything you do. You know, and I'm sure it's harder nowadays because there's the internet, and a lot of people will specifically they will troll. You will always get somebody who's doing it just to kind of push your buttons. But again, you got into this industry to like be a forward facing person. So like I just think it's counterintuitive to get mad at people for that. I mean, they say all press is good press, or even bad. Wait, no. all press is good press. I don't know what I'm saying, but you understand what I mean. Like, you know, at least it's like Jack Sparrow said, you have heard of me though. So like, hey, and also he's a successful actor. He's been in movies and TV shows since the 80s at the very least. What does he care if people on Twitter, of all places, which he apparently doesn't like, he's one of those people who doesn't like Elon Musk. And it's like, then don't use the platform. If you don't like people talking bad about you, go somewhere like Blue Sky, where everybody is, I mean, they think that people who don't like criticism like this, and the Blue Sky people, they think that Twitter is an echo chamber, and that, you know, the people who don't like Star Trek are living in an echo chamber. But like, if you've ever been on Blue Sky, which I have a Blue Sky account, go follow me on Blue Sky. It's people who will, they're literally like salivating at the chance to praise anything that is, if it's not right wing, if it's not centrist, if it's not blue in their eyes, they they all will just say, I support the current thing. And it's the most it's the most uncomfortable place to be for somebody who tries to think for themselves. I actively encourage you to go check out Blue Sky just to see how bizarre it is to see people all saying basically the same thing. And you know what they're saying. They're all crapping on the same people, the same government leaders. They're all praising the same thing. It's just lockstep. Everybody is doing the exact same thing. The bad thing is that you got some really good artists and creators out there who think that way, and they only post on Blue Sky, and it sucks. It's like, I was checking out Mastodon the other day, and which I have a Mastodon account now. Go check out Mastodon, my Mastodon. But the app for that site is garbage. It hardly works when it does work, and when it does, it's like you're just copying Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I hate calling it X. So, whatever. So, Robert Picardo is, I mean, whatever. He can believe whatever he wants, but to crap on people who are interacting with you, it's just stupid. So, also something about Starfleet Academy that this past episode, this woman on X here, she said, I know Starfleet Academy gets a lot of right-wing hate, which I don't think it's right-wing hate. It's just hate because it's bad. And she said, I'm sorry to add to it, but they can't even spell imminent right. This is such a bad show. And yes, right here, imminent, they spell it imminent. which, like, I mean, I know things slip through the cracks, but somebody had to type this in. Imminent. I don't know what they use to type it in, but most programs have a spell checker. And you'd think you'd use a spell checker on, at the very least, your multi-million-dollar show. 10 to $20 million an episode. And that got through? Yeah. Yeah. Like not only... It's like, use a spell checker. Again, 10 to $20 million, million dollars. And that's what they gave up. That's what they did. Now, obviously, that's like one little thing. You can nitpick it to death. And again, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but seriously, like, come on, man. Like, it says do not travel. Venari Rawl invasion imminent. Do not travel. I don't know. I think that could have been worded better, but this show's just it like the design of every like. I'm sorry, my brain's going like 30 million miles an hour for stuff. So they used to have the LCARS design, which was very clean, and you could understand everything on screen. You know, if it was a graphic of a ship, you could see the graphic of the ship, and you could see the little things pointing to it. You could see buttons that did stuff. This is such poor design. Like, go back to LCARS, please. I don't even know how you would begin to start figuring out how to do stuff on their systems here. But this girl, Brianna Wu, I don't know who she is. I mean, she doesn't seem to be a right-wing hater, you know. But I guess she's gotten a lot of hate for this. This I don't know this person. I'm not saying anybody should do anything bad or, you know, say anything bad about this person. But to say that it's a fantastic show is wild. She said it's so popular that you're using it for cheap engagement, and your big complaint is a typo that got through. If you think typos disqualify shows, I got bad news for every Trek show ever. But I like her response. I cannot emotionally connect with anyone on the show, which I'm not trying to emotionally connect with anybody. I'm just trying to connect with anybody, period. You know, in my rewatch of The Next Generation, Worf has always been my favorite character ever since I was a little boy. I got to the episode where he meets back up with Kalar. I think it's Kalar. A fling from his past. And they do it in such a good way, bringing back this woman who he had a relationship with. It didn't work out. And then they end up kind of together in that episode. The episode's called Emissary, by the way. But you don't have to connect emotionally with Worf, not even in that episode, to enjoy it, because everybody's been there, or a lot of people have. If they haven't been there, they understand. You know, you're with somebody, it didn't work out, and then years later you see them again, and it's like, okay, well, what do you do in that situation? At the same time, there's a science fiction element to it, so that people aren't bored by the feelings and the emotions that's going on. It's just done so much better in that show. Yeah, okay, so Buttercup, you're on my same wavelength here. I think we're on the same page. But, like, yeah, it's such a good episode, and for them to like, man, I don't even know, but the point is, yeah, somebody should have caught this. For $10 million, up to $20 million, whoever's in charge of the show, I would be absolutely pissed. Now, will they go back and change this on their platform? Probably. That's like with Mandalorian. When the Mandalorian was coming out, there was some production errors where there was a guy in jeans and a t-shirt, and they erased him afterward. Book of Boba Fett, you could see like the building part behind like a wall. It was like you could see like some 2x4s or whatever. And I think they changed all that. They went back and they fixed it. Will they change this? We'll see. But again, if I was the person in charge, I would be absolutely on fire. Because not only what you're watching is dumb, but then like a dumb mistake like that gets through. And again, I really don't think the people in charge of this show are watching the show. They're just making slop and expecting people to eat the slop. They're not. They wouldn't eat the slop, you know. They want you to eat bugs, but they're not going to eat bugs. They're going to eat children. That's what they are. Their appetite is. That's what their appetite is for. They want to eat children. So. Yeah, sorry. That kind of got dark, but the point is, we should not watch this stuff. We should just ignore it and let it die. So, yeah, that actually covers pretty much everything I want to talk about. I am currently working on my episode 9 review. I think I'm going to put 9 and 10 together because it's really hard to sit through each one of these episodes. Not that I can't do it, but I just don't want to. But closing thoughts. I still love Star Trek. I will never not love Star Trek, but I have the mind of somebody who will decide not to watch something if I don't like it. So, if I'm going to watch, or if I'm going to watch something and I have a YouTube channel, I'm going to use my YouTube channel to tell people that I don't like it. And if other people don't like it and don't want to watch it, then it's like other people say, you don't have to listen to me, just don't listen to them. And I think the world would be better off if shows like Starfleet Academy stopped getting made. So, but that's pretty much it. We've been going for 52 minutes now. And if I can give you a word of advice, if there's someone in your life that you like, whether it's romantically or whatever, shoot your shot. Just tell that person that you care about them, that you love them. If it is somebody that you are in love with and they don't know, shoot your shot. The worst that could happen is that they say no. And you know what? That's fine. If it's somebody in your life that you care about, like a son or a daughter or a mom or a dad or an uncle or an aunt, even just a good friend, tell that person that you love them. A lot of times people don't tell each other that they care about each other enough. And again, I think the world would be a better place if we all told each other how we felt about each other. Especially when it's a good thing. So hug your mom. Hug your dad. Tell your daughter or your son that you love them. And try to embody the virtues and qualities of good people. That's all. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the people who've come here and checked out the stream tonight. I am, like I said, working on my next couple episodes, and we'll just go from there. So, until the next time I either stream or have an episode up, I wish you all a fantastic evening. And like I always say at the end of every episode, live long and cup long.